A very good evening to you all. Thank you for watching Uganda Broadcasting Corporation Television, UBC TV. With me, Wadulo Mark Arnold, Mugalu Muhammad, giving you the news tonight. These are our top stories for the bulletin. In our headlines tonight, CHOGM 2022 ends in Kigali, Rwanda. Togo and Gabon admitted to the Commonwealth. ALUPO passes out over 2,100 student patriots in Katakwi district. And government to construct cereal storage towers across the country. In sports, the She Cranes in a netball regional tour visit Gulu. Once again, thank you for joining us. We now give you the news in detail. The 26th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting has been concluded in Rwanda's capital, Kigali, with new members, Gabon and Togo, joining as the 55th and 56th members, respectively. The Commonwealth leaders accepted applications by the two West African countries during the closing session, where the heads of state also underscored the importance of connecting, innovating and transforming in order to facilitate a full recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Our reporter Samuel is on the ground.
We discussed Commonwealth priorities around governance, human rights, the rule of law, sustainability, and the key issues related to trade and economic growth. And we reflected on the particular impact these challenges have on our small states. You'll know that of the 54 countries in the Commonwealth, 32 are small states. A number of new principles, declarations and frameworks were endorsed, and you will find them all in our communiqué, but key to them were the following. The Living Lands Charter, a call to action on living lands, which seeks to put into place actions to support the 3 Rio Conventions. The Kigali Declaration on childcare reform, the Declaration on sustainable urbanization, and last but not least, the Declaration on gender equality and women's empowerment. Heads of government wish to formally send their congratulations to Her Majesty the Queen in the year of her Platinum Jubilee, and I am delighted to confirm that the Commonwealth she has served with such devotion will grow from 54 to 56 nations as we welcome the Gabonese Republic and the Togolese Republic into our family today.
We are all committed to values of the Commonwealth, no question, but it's not for one group to define and measure who lives up to it. The Commonwealth is diverse, and we respect that diversity. As chair in office, we look forward to working towards strengthening the partnerships within the Commonwealth for the benefit of all our citizens.
Well, congratulations to the new states. In other news, Vice President, retired Major Jessica ALUPO, has commissioned a total of 2,184 student patriots from 17 secondary schools and tertiary institutions in Katakwi district. While passing out the student cause, Vice President ALUPO called upon students and the general community to love their country and be ready to work for it. These are the details.
Today is a very important day in your lives because you have received the training which you may never receive anywhere else in any classroom that you may enter from today onwards. The training you have received is very unique and is specifically for patriotism classes. And as you may wish to note, patriotism comes from the word nationalism. And in NRM, we have 4 principles: nationalism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy. So from nationalism comes the words patriotism, which requires you and all of us to love our country first. It requires you and all of us to be people of high moral integrity, to be people who are very, very honest in the conduct of our duties, to be very hardworking, but also to be physically fit. A patriot does physical exercises every morning and evening so that you are physically fit to manage to do your day-to-day work or activities. So I would like to thank your instructors and the head teachers who presented you to the instructors for the training, for placing you in the best seedbed where the leaders of today and tomorrow who are responsible are trained from.
Furthermore, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has contributed a total of 30 million shillings towards the construction of a multipurpose building project of the Archdiocese of Mbarara Development Association. AMDA is an association that brings together 49 Catholic parishes under the Mbarara Archdiocese. It comprises of the Catholic faithfuls from the Archdiocese who live in Kampala metropolitan area. The group is putting up a multi-billion complex at Rubaga Hill to house a church, a bishop and priest's house, as well as commercial offices estimated at a cost of 5 billion Ugandan shillings.
President Yoweri Museveni has contributed a total of 30 million shillings towards the construction of a multi-purpose building project of the Archdiocese of Mbarara Development Association. The group is putting up a multi-billion complex at Rubaga Hill to house a church, a bishop and priest's houses, as well as commercial offices estimated to cost 5 billion shillings.
Mwebare kunyeta kushaba nimwe. Ninsima banywani banje abanyabwina parish. I am a parishioner of Nyabwina, as you may all know. The sacrifices made for the sake of spreading the gospel are not in vain. The government commends the work done by the association such as AMDA, whose sole aim is the holistic transformation of a person as envisaged by Jesus in his mission on earth. AMDA and government are therefore partners in securing the future of Ugandans. I commend AMDA leadership and members for not forgetting their home dioceses and parishes. Since you are a catalyst for transformation in the rural areas where many of us were born and were nurtured, I want to bring you greetings from His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and Mama Janet, the Minister of Education and Sports, and the First Lady. They send you their warm regards and greetings.
The chairman of the Mbarara Development Association, Chris Gumisiriza, lauded the members of Nyabwina Parish for ably mobilizing many members in and outside the AMDA to attend Mass and generously contributing resources towards the implementation of the Rubaga House. The chairman of Nyabwina Parish, Gordon Nankunda, said, as a parish, they intend to mobilize funds to stock the school's libraries and rehabilitating the structures. Reporting for UBC TV News, Stephen Kanakulia, Sempa.
Furthermore, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has contributed a total of 30 million shillings, or rather, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has directed the Finance Ministry to secure a loan to facilitate the construction of storage silos at all parishes across the country. This has been revealed by the State Minister for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, David Bahati, during a joint parish development model talk show for Chigezi held in Kabale district.
Ministers hailing from Chigezi sub-region are busy mobilizing communities to embrace government programs. This weekend, these 4 ministers gathered at Kabale National Teachers College in Kabale district to communicate to the entire sub-region. The joint radio talk show for parish development model was aimed at creating public awareness, mobilize and sensitize Chigezi communities about the program.
It's important to know that it's for all Ugandans. In fact, the parish development model should unite us. Instead of thinking about division of politics, of religion, of tribe, which are useless. This is going to start Uganda to another level.
And we have identified a number of enterprises that we think the people of Chigezi can get involved in. Poultry is one of them, piggery, horticulture and vegetables, zero grazing, fruits and coffee. So we want to encourage our people, and that's the message we had this evening, to get involved in commercial agriculture.
This is a program initiated by the NRM government, but meant to benefit all Ugandans, particularly when it comes to the pillar of financial inclusion. We are focusing on those in the lowest ladder of the economy.
Every minister almost remained in his or her lane of duty during discussions.
The sector of trade, industry and cooperatives, we are now focusing on making sure that when people produce, there is storage, and His Excellency the President has now directed and guided that we source for a facility from UKF of around $150 million to set up silos at every sub-county to increase the value of what we are producing so that we take advantage of the massive markets.
Then regarding those people who are likely to attempt to misuse the money, the law will catch up with you because the mechanisms are there. We have told you, the committee, this is a well thought out program. It has been done by consultants, it has been discussed in the cabinet, even in parliament. There is no way it can be abused.
My Ministry of ICT and National Guidance leads on the pillar of management information system. And this makes the PDM different from the previous initiatives because we are strengthening monitoring, reporting and evaluation.
The 4-hour talk show featured Security Minister, Retired Major General Jim Muhwezi, ICT Minister Dr. Chris Baryomusi, State Minister for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives David Bahati, and State Minister for Children Affairs Sarah Mateke. The address carried on different media platforms locally operating in Chigezi sub-region was a successful one. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Busongora South Kasese District will soon conduct a by-election for members of parliament. It should be recalled that Gideon Mujungu's victory as MP was challenged in court due to irregularities, ordering for a by-election. Government ministers and MPs have now garnered support from locals to elect Gideon Mujungu for Busongora South. This happened at St. John's Mitiviri Church of Uganda in Mohocha, Kasese District, where Honorable Jim Muhwezi and Godfrey Kabyanga attended a fundraising event for the completion of the church.
Minister for Security Major General Jim Muhwezi and State Minister for ICT Godfrey Kabyanga have graced a fundraising event to raise over 83 million to complete the construction of St. John's Mitibiri Church of Uganda, Muhokya Sub-County, Kasese District. Hundreds contributed to this noble cause to ensure that the church supports the transformation of people's livelihoods in the area. Upon completion, the church shall be used to nurture Christians and purchase more land to carry out church activities through agriculture and enterprises.
Also request for technical pieces of advice from you. We request that you help us to boost the existing gravity water that flow on a seasonal basis.
Minister for Security toured the church to appreciate the progress so far achieved. It is at the same event that MPs and ministers drummed support for Gideon Mujungu, whose election was nullified as MP Busongora South, calling for a by-election.
But you can see what NRM has done. It is tarmac up to where you are now. There is power up to where you are. So what else do we need as from government? What we need is now for Honorable Mujungu to go back and NRM candidate to go and add more and more and more so that we can develop the area.
The date of the by-election is yet to be announced by the Electoral Commission.
Now, there has been a lot of improvement registered in the education system and provision of adequate learning information to learners sprouting from the partnership between World Bank and the government of Uganda that birthed Life 2, the projects which target government-aided seed secondary schools in the 18 regions of Uganda. Now, government plans to construct more seed secondary schools as part of its efforts to ensure that all sub-counties across the country have seed secondary schools, making it a total of 259 for this particular project.
Constitutional right. Every child is entitled to have a free education.
Access to secondary school education is becoming easier by the day, with ongoing construction both of at least a secondary school in every sub-county across the country. The government's deliberate effort to build a seed secondary school in every sub-county is under the Intergovernmental Fiscal Transfers Program. The first phase has so far released 117 seed secondary schools across the country. There are plans to construct another 115 schools in the second phase and later another 27 in the final phase. The initiative is meant to enable every Ugandan access secondary school education close to homes.
I really want to thank all the districts where these schools have been constructed. They have been very positive. They have enrolled students really in these schools. And we want to realize the quality now. The construction, the structures are there. But now our plan is to internalize and to ensure quality education for our children.
Government has also undertaken measures such as revising policies to promote diversity, skills and provision of comprehensive education to enhance competitiveness of learners for a favorable high-end global skills endorsements.
Aware that once we commission the school, the contractor does not leave that facility. Under the arrangement we have with UGIFT, the contractor still has 12 months, which we call the liability period, to correct any defects that arise when that structure is in use. Defects that are deemed to have come up as a result of maybe a weakness within the building process, not a fault by the occupants of the school. So all these schools that we are commissioning are within the 12-month liability period.
The school management and the leadership in this district is ensuring that the students are not overcharged, since the said secondary schools are meant to give a lease of life to children from humble backgrounds.
Education is the key. Education is power.
The Ministry of Education and Sport is also expected to undertake a mapping exercise to establish the gap in the administrative units without a government school.
We are very much aware there are still new sub-counties that have come on board. And of course, we are going to do a proper survey. We will map which sub-counties are without secondary schools after completing this current the process of constructing these schools.
The Intergovernmental Fiscal Transfers Program was launched in the financial year 2018-2019 with the aim of increasing capitation grant in schools and provide resources under the wage budget to recruit staff in short-staffed districts.
Over 4,900 residents of Bukoto are to be beneficiaries of a shallow water well constructed to provide them with safe water, courtesy of Overseas China Uganda Foundation. More in this report.
Overseas China Uganda Charity Foundation has donated the water well to Bukoto community near Kampala. Over 4,900 residents from Mulimira, Odikira, Mukalaza and Semogere zones in Bukoto Nakawa division are some of the beneficiaries of the donation. The facility was donated by Gong Yuan Ting, who explains the reason she constructed the water well.
Going to provide this local community the clean water and the better living conditions to avoid the disease.
Beneficiaries and local leaders appreciated the water well offer.
Very thankful for our councillors who have lobbied for us through Ruyombia Foundation, to our friends from Overseas China Uganda who have supported us.
Lwazibikiramu ng'emidumu tegireeta bulungi naye kino ekitukoleddwa kirungi nnyo, tweyanzege kuba
abantu abalukoze bayongeye amazzi gaffe bulungi.
Siwa abavubuka Mulimira luno oluzi balutukwasiza kubanga ffe tukulidde wano nga tunaabira wano, ffe tuze tukwira wano ng'amazzi tugasomba okuva eri wansi nga tubeera wano. Oluzi balutukwasiza era tugenda kulukuuma ne bannange.
Mulimira Zone Chairperson Joseph Sandika Koza urged the local communities to borrow relief from the donors and help their local communities with the necessities of life as well.
China be an example for us. We have so many Ugandans who have money and they keep quiet, but our villages are suffering without free water, and we have so many poor communities around. So at least let Ugandans come up, those who have money. God has blessed with the money, use that money to support our communities with this type of water.
The Council Speaker Nakawa Godfrey Luyombia asked the community to take care of the facility and reminded them to boil the water before consuming it.
That has vulnerable people, vulnerable children who cannot even afford to buy a jerrycan of water. In the event of scarcity, such spring wells are more vital in our community. For those who are using this water, always try to boil it.
Overseas China Uganda Charity Foundation's founder and national chairman Zongshuan Kwan says consuming safe water boosts children's health.
This is like a spark of the fire, so more people should join us to do charity. Why we choose water? Because water is really very helpful for a family. Because a healthy life can help them have a better future. Thank you. I hope that the government can increase the budget to improve the livelihood of the lunar people.
I'm Ivan Juko for UBC News.
The burden on their side.
Now, Bunyoro Chitara Kingdom offered government land in Changwali to resettle refugees in 1960. Those who settled on part of this land other than the refugees are now being evicted from this land on accusations of settling on it illegally. Our news crew recently visited this land to extensively ascertain the conditions of the evicted persons and the reasons for eviction. Now, this is a documentary that we're going to be showing you. It's going to be 30 minutes long, and right after it, we'll be coming back at 10. So please do be informed.
amabara gange ninyo kawaga Pamela amananu gali banzara masindi baitu nyikara kagoma maganjo so nkabandao nyikaliye ninkore byange at home nyara a landline number calling ya MTN so bunyakwasire nkajya kurona gamanze Zahara Toto I'm calling you from MTN ohangwire motoka I just said kali not believing asikiriza nti dala kitufu yangambo singwire motoka bagyagaruka mba kuterere. So I'm so happy. Thank you MTN banange, it is real byamananu sibya feli
waka with MTN Mama Nyabo. Simply deposit 20k or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
Fellow citizens, thank you for diligently and consistently honoring your tax obligations. It is through your collective contribution that the government is able to provide social services. In spite of the simultaneous global crises that have hit our livelihoods and businesses, you have proven that as a people, we can rise up and still mobilize domestic revenues enough to sustain us as a country. As we close in to the end of this financial year, I urge you not to lose the momentum and resilience that you have demonstrated all year through. Please file your returns and remit your taxes in time to avoid unnecessary inconveniences that come with non-compliance. As Uganda Revenue Authority, we are committed to facilitate you in honoring your obligations through a reliable and delightful service. I invite you to use our various e-platforms to remit your tax contributions with ease and on time. We have extended all our working hours at all our border stations, the bonded warehouses, and service centers. Should you need further assistance, please contact us via our toll-free lines and our WhatsApp platforms. Tax is the surest way of liberating our country from the bondage of economic dependence. Let us all play our part, pay our dues, and develop our country. For God and my country.
Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda together. The Kabaka Birthday Run 2022 is back on Sunday, 3rd July 2022 at Lubiri Mengo. This year, the run will be physical and will be flagged off by Sabasajja Kabaka at 7 a.m. Come out in large numbers once again to Lubiri Mengo. Run for a cause to fight and end HIV by 2030. Buy your ticket today at 15,000 Uganda shillings from Airtel shops at Tobani Center, New Taxi Park, ShopRite Building, Benchwanka Street, Majestic Brands Office at Bulange Mengo. You can also buy your ticket using Airtel Money. Dial *185*5 hash. Select Payments, select Kabaka Run, and follow the prompts to complete the payment. Kabaka Birthday Run 2022 is brought to you by UNAID, CBS, BBS, and Airtel, the smartphone network.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full. We lost loved ones, jobs, and hope. Our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.